Hey yo, welcome to
Mama, that boy out of the game.
YouTube channel where we keep the content hotter than fish grease, baby. On today's episode, man, we gotta talk to Charlamagne, dog. Charlamagne, dog, you gotta get Donkey of the Day today, bro. On some real 100, bro, you gotta get Donkey of the Day. Listen, man, how you gonna, see, now this is be making me mad about, like, people in the industry, right? And this is what I can't seem to understand, right? I know you and Kanye got y'all differences, right? And you feel like what he said about the Jewish people was absolutely wrong, which it was, you know what I mean? But my thing is, if you gonna have that standpoint about something, you gotta have that standpoint across the board, you know what I mean? Because DJ Vlad disrespected Minister Farrakhan, and what did he say? I am not apologizing for nothing. He said, I'm not apologizing for nothing, but he can come on my platform and we can talk about it. Meaning, as long as I can make $1 off the conversation, then we could talk about it. You know what I mean? But I didn't hear you saying we need to cancel DJ Vlad like you doing with Kanye. You, tonight, yesterday episode on Brilliant Idiots, you talked about Kanye for 15 minutes. You didn't do that with DJ Vlad. You ain't have that same energy with DJ Vlad. And I want to know why. I think the world want to know why. You know what I mean? Because, bro, how can you have that energy towards your own kind, but you don't have that energy towards a different race? It seems like you put more pressure on your own race than you do other races. You know what I mean? The other race can make a mistake, but black people can't. You know what I mean? That's basically what I'm trying to say. But bro, you gotta keep that same energy across the board. If you feel like that about Kanye, then you should absolutely feel like that about DJ Vlad. You know what I mean? You should absolutely feel the same way, bro. You gotta keep the same energy across the board. No matter if you like Kanye or not. Right is right and wrong is wrong, bro. You know what I mean? And then you go to fix your mouth to say record labels ain't making rappers say what they say.
I think that, man, there's a phrase called power to the people. And I think that we keep giving these corporations, a lot more credit, and we give them a lot more, we hold them a lot more accountable than I think we should, because they're only putting out what they're given.
Bro, come on. Everybody in the game know that record labels put life insurance policies on rappers and then get rappers to go out there and talk about negative things that's gonna get them killed. Everybody know that. If you don't believe me, just take a listen to this.
Too much beefing, and we was beefing for real. Like, people was like dying and this and that, and it was just like it was blocking a lot of money. People don't want to touch you. You know what I'm saying? You know, your rap friends, somebody gets shot, your rap friends stop picking up, the label stop picking up. Nah, it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? It gets crazy. But now it's even crazier because they getting life insurance on artists. At least back then we didn't have that.
Somebody told me that shit.
Yeah.
Is a label signing an artist in good faith if you're taking a life insurance out on him?
No, you praying on his death.
A rapper gets shot, labels guaranteed a platinum project.
Unfortunately. Systematically,
but not only that,
the way that they
but labels put a special type of life insurance on rappers. When they pass, it's a really big payout.
I
never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that episode with Crooked Eye.
They're making bread.
They tell you about that, but they make a lot of money off of your death.
Right.
All you artists out there, y'all keep that in mind. You know, don't be letting these labels put a life insurance policy on you, because your ass, a lot of these labels got ties to the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing
to get your
knock
ass
you off your feet.
banged
You know
on.
what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't nothing.
Ooh-wee.
So y'all better be careful with that.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get these contracts and you be young, you don't know any better, whatever, and you just sign whatever, man. But y'all got to be careful out here.
The letter is the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation.
Damn.
So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
So we gonna tell the story.
We gonna tell the story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not explaining.
Look, that black van.
So look, so he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, Jake.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on one second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistol. No,
for real though.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. the more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague, who opened up the meeting earlier, hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. And no, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and this person later on, he said, you know, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. A few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just, like, you know, over the years he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come to a reality
over 2 decades,
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out.
So if you wonder where Brand Nubians went, where Poor Righteous Teachers went, where Public Enemy went, where KRS-One went, and all sorts of groups like that was talking, even Queen Latifah and Moni Love and those, you know what I'm saying? It's a back door.
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go.
Yeah, that's why if you even notice though,
we talk about that all the time.
Even be brief with it, you know what I'm saying? Those charms that came out like maybe 1988, 89, the African charms, those they lasted for about 2 years and they disappeared real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Now, after reading all this, you know, it actually made me feel a few different ways. The first emotion I felt was shocked because I was definitely taken back by this, just knowing the level of evil that's involved by even thinking of a plan like this. You know what I'm saying? The second emotion I felt was anger. Anger because it's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it. Mm-hmm. Because let's keep it real, the industry has never been favorable towards the artists. Never. But they're going to go beyond the artists to get the artists to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them. And it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists.
Yeah.
So they making a killing.
A killing.
They're using the music business to promote their private prison business.
My man is right there talking that right. 1988, a man named Tom Beasley, man. That's the co-founder of the corrections for Corporation of America. That's the CCA. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. I'm reading this thing right there real quick. It's the CCA. So in 1988, he founded that, and this is in straight concert with the same thing. So it's like the music business. You do what you do on your side. And over here with the corrections facilities, we're going to do on this side and now in 1970, there was 500 prisons. You know what I'm saying? Only 500 prisons in the United States. To this day, there's 1,700 prisons right now. That means big business. I'm talking about that done flippled over. You know what I'm saying? If flippled over is a word. Because they're making a lot of money off of these things per inmate. You know what I'm saying? So getting with the same thing of the music, it all went hand in hand, and we just partying at the same time.
So us as the artists is the tool they use.
Yeah.
The music is the bait. Yep. And the young consumers are the prey. It's a cold game.
Cold game, bro.
Cold game. Then I felt sad. Sad because everything we seem to try to create, we always seem to give it away. We're always being tricked and deceived into believing that they have our best interests at hand when clearly they never have and they never will. They never will have our best interests at hand. It's blow after blow after blow after blow.
Now the ADL has jumped on Kanye West because he said black people don't have the same level of connections as Jewish people. Black people don't have the same connection as oil people, quote. Did he lie? No. He told the truth. And the ADL, Mr. Foxman, issued a press release on the 2nd day of December 2013. And this executive director said, quote, if the comments are true as reported, this is classic anti-Semitism. There it goes again. The age-old canard that Jews are all-powerful. No, you're not all-powerful, but you certainly are powerful. And you control the levers of government. You don't want to admit it. But as a celebrity, you're telling Kanye West he should know better. He does know better, and that's why he said what he said. Then you said to him, we hope that he would take responsibility for his words, understand why they are so offensive, and apologize to those he has offended. You know what, Mr. Foxman? I wish you and I could have a dialogue. You wouldn't put that small-time stuff over on me that you put on scared-to-death Negroes, that if they mention you and you call them anti-Semitic, they start bowing to you and your pressure. Kanye West, don't bow to the pressure to apologize to anybody. You said nothing wrong. Who are you, Farrakhan, to tell him that he said nothing wrong? I am directly from the Christ and the Messiah. So what I tell you has more weight than anything that these enemies might want to say. You have nothing to apologize for. It is their fear of the truth. And that's why it gives me pleasure to defend my brother.
And not only that, Leor told you this.
Really rough, particularly on women. but I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
But being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying the
it's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I gotta.
See, people telling you what it is in the game, but I don't think you want to believe it. You know what I mean? The game, or it's either one or two things. You're naive to the fact, or you're part of the problem. You know what I mean? It's either one or two things, bro. I don't know if you down with them, or you just playing what my nigga DMX say, ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean? I don't know if you acting stupid towards the situation, like you don't want to talk about the situation, or you protecting something. It's one of the two. You know what I mean? It's either one of the two. But man, you gotta have that same energy, man, when it comes to other people that you got for your own race. You gotta have that same energy, bro. You can't do that, man. You cannot do that, bro. And the messed up thing is, man, you got a lot of people that look up to you. You know what I mean? A lot of people that hear you and they go off of what you say, bro. But I think you setting a fucked up narrative. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, you didn't have that same smoke for DJ Vlad like you do for Kanye. Yeah, man, Kanye going through some things and he's saying some things, but it ain't no different from what Dame Dash said. Dame Dash said the same thing. Everything that Kanye's saying right now, Dame Dash said the same thing. Dame Dash was putting it out. Y'all ain't calling Dame Dash crazy. Lupe Fiasco said the same thing. Y'all said he was crazy. Now Kanye saying it. Now y'all saying he crazy. Like all these people ain't crazy, bro. It's either y'all blind to the fact or y'all part of the problem, bro. And that's 100. And I'm gonna keep it just like that. For real. On that note, I'm out. Ha!